Hello, everybody. My name is Chris, and this is a YouTube channel. We are here to pick some games in Week 9. This is Harris After Dark, or whatever it's called. And with me is last week's champion picker, because for this channel, having an 11-win week is something to crow about. It's Jim McCormick. Hi, Jim.
It's a big week for Philadelphia pickers. I'm not even sure what that means, but we're just picking stuff.
Well, you've got the World Series going on. We tried to start recording this early to get in time for the World Series. Didn't really work, but we're here now, and it's just Philadelphia and Houston right down the line. The traditional rivals, the hatred between those two cities.
I mean, I just think of sandwiches and whatever Houston does. So, yeah.
Oil,
oily sandwiches, which
Sandwiches
sometimes happens in Philadelphia.
So Jim had a good week, very good week. I am not wearing footy pajamas. You all might realize that I, once again, am not wearing footy pajamas. Jim, so close. Second straight week, so close. I have to say, like, for about a month now, every week I've been at 500 or one game under 500. It's driving me kind of crazy. I was at 500, 6-6 going into Monday night, had the Bengals, as did you. Our producer Dave is a Browns fan and had the Browns because he's a homer. And not only did they not cover, the road favorite lost outright. In this case, humiliatingly. So once again, once I get the winning week, you'll see me in the Patriots footy pajamas. I know we've all got our fingers crossed, but for now, you're just getting me in a. It's a Viore shirt. It's a really nice shirt.
It's quite
I like
nice.
the shirt a lot. You can. Yeah, Viore, lovely sponsor. So we're gonna do this. We have had more luck with our best bets. I know I'm 4-3-1. I think Jim's right around there. I think that's to be expected, just because we're picking almost every game. You're picking every game. I'm almost picking every game. And when you're messing around with your DraftKings app, we would encourage you not to pick every game, because some you're not going to feel great about, and others, if we were. It's like you said, like there was one, remember that one year we actually entered the super contest. Somebody entered for us, and we did a lot better because you get to pick your 5 games you're most confident in. So that's why we give you a best bet. We're going to hopefully be smart on that one anyway. So we go to Thursday night, and amidst this World Series drama, we have probably the biggest mismatch that the NFL has to offer. The only thing that could be worse would be if it were the Houston Texans visiting the Philadelphia Eagles. It's the other way around. Instead, you're only allowed to answer this entire game that we're picking in a Philly accent. Otherwise, your pick won't come true. The Eagles are -14 at Houston.
I mean, yeah, since we're on the theme of selective excellence, that was also the name of my Uncle Greg's boat. Selective excellence, just the guy, he was an embezzler. My thing is just like 14, nice round number. I don't know how they came up with it. Is that 2 touchdowns? Is it 2, that's 2 touchdowns. Usually, Vegas thinks they're so sharp. Honestly, man, this is tough, but I'm going to take the points. I'm a self-loathing Philadelphian. We can only beat up Houston so much in 1 week. You know what I mean? And I just choose to leverage the disdain against Dusty Baker and his, trash can bagging friends. You know what I mean?
So you're taking Houston +14. I nailed this line, so I'm gonna have sleep nice and easy on Thursday night. I'm not gonna worry about that stupid Thursday game. Boy, that's gonna be an early night. Not for me. I have to watch it all the way through, but everyone else gets to stay. I'm staying away, and everyone else can stay away from watching it. Sorry,
I think most people are staying away from that game. So.
Yeah, it's not good. Not good. It definitely, like, somebody on Twitter had a good line. It's like having Al Michaels read a pamphlet for like a tire changing service. It's just not. It's not what you want.
At least he can blindly focus on the betting like the whole time. He'll just
right.
I feel like we're so close to Al Michaels talking about prop bets. So I just like.
Well, I'm sure DraftKings would hire him to do it in a second. DraftKings, let's connect you with Al Michaels' agent. All right, on to Sunday. There is no London game. Good God, thank heavens. Those games are early, dude, for me. We have, instead, the Footy Pajama Patriots are hosting the Indianapolis Colts. The Patriots are coming off of a very unconvincing win against the Jets. However, the Colts are coming off of a humiliating late loss, after which they fired their offensive coordinator, against the Commanders. If you like the Patriots, you have to give 5.5.
Yeah, I do. I suppose, like, this is an adjustment from was it 2 weeks ago? an 8-point line in Chicago, meaning like New England. So there was this like crest, I think, of that like this is a Bill Belichick defense again thing, because I guess was it who did they shut out like really badly? They
Cleveland.
Detroit.
Cleveland and Detroit back
to
back.
Yeah. So there was like I think this cresting point of like Vegas was back on Belichick. I'm still like on the Belichick dismantles bad quarterbacks thing. And I'm giving the points.
I think I want to change my mind. So, all right, I took the Colts. I took the Colts just because I set the line at 5. It's one of those that I wouldn't play. I don't like it. I set the line at 5. The only way I can justify it, I don't really feel strongly either way. Seems like a pretty sharp line, to be honest. The way I can justify it is I think if I were smart and I were the Colts, I would look at what the Bears did and I would look at what the Jets did and I would be like, let's run. We have a mobile quarterback. Let's run. You know, the Jets came out throwing for some reason when all that worked against the Patriots with the Bears, the humiliating Monday night loss, was running. And without Matt Ryan, with Sam Ehlinger, they have the capacity to have, I mean, he's not Justin Fields and he's not going to take off for blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm not really recommending Sam Ehlinger in fantasy. And Jonathan Taylor's ankle could screw all this up. I'm justifying the bet because I picked the number. I picked the number at 5, so I am on the Colts. And I don't love it. I would stay away from this game. The Packers, they had the ball a lot against Buffalo, and they covered for us. That was a skin of your teeth kind of scenario. Thank goodness for kicking that last field goal. They are going to Detroit, and I guess everything's all right with the world because the Packers are a 2-point favorite on the road. And I should say, we have, of the 13 games, I'm looking at right now, 13 games in week 9, 8 of them have road favorites. I don't have the number in front of me, Jim, but how have could I have it in sound effect form how road favorites have done this year?
Oi!
I was going to go. Not good.
Yeah, not good.
So here we go. We've got the Packers -2 at Detroit.
Is it -2? Okay, because
no, it's -3.5. Sorry.
Yeah, I had it -3.5 because I was like, man,
right.
I'm still going with the Packers even at -3.5. But
you were hoping to get 2, yeah.
Really excited to get 2. I was like, man,
yeah.
It was like when I never did this, but it was like being on the phone with a bookie and then being like, lock it in. And then like a minute later, he'd call me back and threaten me. So I don't know why it couldn't be a woman. It could be a woman that could threaten me. So
very easily.
That happens a lot in my life. I am going to give the 3.5 points based on the fact that I just think this Lions team is just like an abscess kind of like thing.
It ain't good. I got Lions 3.5. I'll take the points. Road favorites. It's not why I didn't set out. I will take a lot of home dogs here in this.
What did you have it at?
setup.
3? What was
I set it at 2. That's why
okay.
I confused myself. I thought it was 2. And so that's why I said the wrong line. We'll get back to the lines in just a moment. First, let's thank our sponsor. We already mentioned them, DraftKings. We got to see if we can hook up Al Michaels on DraftKings. I'm sure they've never talked. I'm sure Al Michaels would never and doesn't ever. DraftKings has been a great sponsor. Without them, there is no ridiculous show in which Jim's picks are working out and mine are trending in the medium. If you're looking for a place to play the games and you live in one of the states where you're allowed to do it, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use our promo code HarrisTube. That allows you to make a $5 straight up bet. You don't have to worry about point spreads. Just a straight up bet. If you pick the winning team in a game, you'll get $200 in free bets to play around with. Jim, they don't let you immediately cash that $200 out, though. That would be bad business, probably, to let you just immediately take the $200 out. You have to play a bunch with it, and then eventually you earn it. It becomes withdrawable, but still, it's a great deal, and it's a way, once you win that little bet, it's a way to just have a bankroll and to be able to play around, play $5 here, $5 there. And we recommend DraftKings. So if you do get that sportsbook app, please do use our code HarrisTube. So we're back to do these games, but actually I want to congratulate our correct best bet picker in the comments from last week. It was Castor Russ. Well done.
Great name.
His name is in there every week, and he or she, sorry. And they nailed it. I also wanted Jim to say that we got to the Patriot game early, and obviously I didn't get to wear the footy pajama, but I did. You probably remember, though you weren't there. I don't know, 6 weeks ago or something, I hit the 1,000th podcast, right? I hit my 1,000th podcast on my own. And in honor of it, I had a live meetup here in LA, and people came out and like said hi. And we had like 30 or 40 people over the course of the afternoon at a bar outside. It was very fun. And I wish I remember who it was, and maybe they're watching and they could tell us down in the comments. But somebody brought me. Can you read that?
Oh my God, that's a Patriots cutting board.
It's a Patriots charcuterie board, or
wow,
like serving board. It goes to the depth of cynical NFL marketing that they thought of putting it on a serving board. It's also awesome. So
that's actually how Bill Belichick disciplined Rob Gronkowski. So
I was gonna say, if I drilled a hole in it, it would be a lot better for some Gronk slapping. But there you go, the Patriots. And I should also say, a couple of years ago, before the pandemic, somebody made me this.
Wow, what a woodwork!
So I have a wood carving of the logo of the show and all that stuff. Cool. Landon made that for me. It's very nice. I don't, I leave it on the desk because then I can remember what my logo is. So that's very well why I'm not taking the Patriots, because I've got a cutting board that says Patriots and they can't win this week. So let's keep going. Chargers. After a week off, they're going to Atlanta. The Falcons won the weirdest game of the year, probably, last week against the Panthers. The Chargers are somewhat of a step up in weight class, but I don't know how much, and I don't know who the receivers are for the Chargers, but the Chargers are favored by 3.5.
Yeah, I mean, the NFC South Super Bowl was exciting. I mean, that was fun.
It was beyond exciting, dude. That was like heroin injected into the pee-pee. That was amazing.
I mean, we had like a 4-minute 4K shot of Arthur Smith, and I was just like, is this what these cameras are for?
Absolutely it is.
It was
Look
incredible.
At that belly.
I mean, I am just falling into this tar pit of road favorites, and I'm down there with Billy D and, charcuterie boards, and we're just trying to dig our way out, and I am somehow giving points on the road with this Chargers team. I don't know. Josh Palmer.
I'm taking them. I'm taking those points. I'm taking the points, and I didn't set out to do this, but I am betting against some road favorites this week. The Falcons are good. They're not great, but they're good. And they're like designed to win games by 3 or lose them by 3. Mm-hmm. And they got killed by the Bengals. Like, they can get killed. And Justin Herbert's very good. But again, who's he throwing it to? I think Josh Palmer is his only, it's going to be Austin Eckler. Yeah, it's going to be an Austin Eckler game. I love Austin Eckler for fantasy, but it feels like containable. Don't commit mistakes. Don't do dumb things. Have long drives. Maybe Cordero Patterson comes back. I like the Falcons. I will take the 3.5 points. The Bills, who didn't cover in a game on, what was that, Sunday night? They all blend together.
Yeah.
But they had that game totally in hand, and it felt like Josh Allen was bored and threw interceptions in the red zone just to make everybody laugh. The Bills are going to the Jets, who have Zach Wilson at quarterback, and that's not good. And they are a 12.5 point favorite.
I feel like the Nyheim Hines stress was just overwhelming the Bills on Sunday. It was like one of these imminent deals. They just knew it was coming.
Right. Oh, Nyheim Hines, we can't concentrate. We can't. I might be throwing this past on Nyheim Hines right now.
To them, it's like their AD and BC. You know what I mean? It's how they delineate time.
I get it.
I'm gonna take the points actually this time. It's the one, like, I love that I'm not taking the best road favorite of all of them. And somehow Zach Wilson is allowed to wear AirPods during the game, but I'm going to take the points because I think Robert Saleh's defense is good, and I think they're going to find a way to keep away. So
me too. I also am taking the Jets here, plus 12.5. Zach Wilson does what he did last week, and intentionally throws interceptions. Like, if ever you were going to get a Calvin Ridley situation where somebody was actually intentionally influencing the course of a game, that would, like, I'm throwing it away. Oops, Devin McCourty. Twice. But I assume that the FDA or FCC or something federal has its eye now trained on Zach Wilson, and he can't do it 2 straight weeks in a row, or it's felony jail time for him.
Al Michaels that's what he does on the weekends. So
plus 12.5. Al Michaels actually does work for the Federal Bureau of Tobacco and Firearms. It's a little known fact. They give him an honorary badge, but he, by God, uses it. He's like Herschel Walker at the debate. He flashes
There's a lot
it,
of wintergreen in there. Like he just...
right. It's a bust, and your offshore bookie is out of business.
It's true.
I'm also taking the Jets plus 12.5. The Commanders, coming off a nice win, are hosting somehow the, what are they, 6-1? 6-1 Vikings?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel real because the Vikings haven't really beaten anybody good, and the one time they played somebody good, they pretty much got their butt cheeks waxed, as we like to say, against the Eagles. Minnesota goes to D.C. among the splendor and revelatory celebration that it's possible Daniel Snyder is going to have to sell the team. That momentum, that incentive might be enough for the Commanders. And if you like Washington, you actually get 3.5 points.
I kind of feel like this is when Michael Scott told everybody that like either Buffalo or Scranton was closing. And like, I think, first of all, the Brooklyn Nets have a lot going on, but one of the worst things that happened this week besides everything else was that Kevin Durant called them the Manders. Like, he shortens it and calls them the Manders. He says, like, those are my Manders.
Instantly. Isn't that the Salamanders? Instantly?
I mean, I didn't even know, like, on Twitter, he said this he's got like 40 million followers. I'm like, who are the Manders? I thought he was like some
Salamanders.
I thought it was like
definitely
some cricket collective that he was into. Like, he was into some like cool offbeat sport. No, he's talking about Taylor Heineken and
the tinny beer.
Yeah, that's what it is. In this case, I think Minnesota's actually been pretty good, and I'm going to go with them.
Not me. You know why?
It's a great line for this because it's a 3-point
road favorite.
Yeah, road favorite. Yeah,
I don't mean to step all over you, but I'm going home dog.
Go for it.
Not intentionally. Another one that I would not play. Not excited. I set the line at 3, and then it's 3.5. Like you said, very sharp. And I go, screw this. I wouldn't play this in real life, but for the purposes of the show, I'm nothing if not a trooper, and I will take Washington plus the 3.5. And it folds right into the idea that I've now taken to start this 6 consecutive underdogs. Because it's been the year of the underdog, and that means since we've decided after week 8 it's the week of the underdog, that year of the underdog, it means it can never change.
We're aligned on one pick, so this is exciting. So,
damn it, this really stinks, man. 11-win Jim. We have the Raiders visiting the Jaguars. And last week we split. I liked the Raiders as a road favorite, and you took the home dog Saints, and that was a shutout. So once again, I must reiterate, screw you. And the Raiders are a road favorite again, and they are giving 1.5.
I mean, what is going on here with this line? I had this. This is the line that I actually had. Like, I'm clearly taking the Jaguars. Jaguars, yeah. I mean, this should come with like a hot pretzel dipped in cheese. That's a Philadelphia thing. I don't know why they do that, but I am taking the points. I mean, Josh McDaniels, like, first of all, like, I don't even understand how they let this guy live in Vegas. Like, he looks like a guy who can't handle Vegas. So,
like perpetually hungover and sunburned.
Yeah,
and like often with his ass crack showing.
That's what it is. Yeah, it's like the 4th day in Vegas. He's just like a sim.
Overwhelmed.
He's just
overwhelmed zombie. Yeah. I'm on the Raiders. I'm going to give the points. You like the Jags. I like the Raiders. Is this going to be your best bet? Don't tell me yet. I think it's going to be very funny.
No, it's not. No, I can't do a Trevor Lawrence best bet because he's going to throw a pick right in my face. So
that's the thing that it's the Jags. This feels like that Giant line, except for the Giants were actually underdogs. But
right.
I can't explain the Raiders last week. I tried to on the podcast, and it comes down to, I think, if the snowball goes downhill for Derek Carr, he doesn't have a way to fix it. Like he just checks everything down. That's all he's going to do. You're playing back on defense. He goes, aha, coach told me what to do when you do that. And meanwhile, coach is like, dude, we're losing by 8 touchdowns. Throw the ball down the field. Like, he can't make himself do it. So that was my Josh McDaniels, by the way. He sounds a lot like me.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, no, he was a very stunning recreation. But I am, once again, on a different pick. I skipped one. Let's go back. Let's do Carolina at Cincinnati.
Game of the week.
The Bengals are not, what's the word? Good?
Yeah.
At least not on the offensive line. They are favored over Carolina by 7.5.
I suppose I'm definitely taking the points, but I suppose I'm going to take them for some sort of face value that, like, the last 2 weeks is just a better version. Like, meaning, like, somebody who semi knows what they're doing. It's like somebody
The
like
Panthers, you mean?
yes, the Panthers. It's like
Yeah.
somebody like took over a terrible dive bar and was like, we have pretzels. Like this. It's
With
like,
cheese on them.
yeah, exactly, with cheese on them.
Yeah.
This is the PJ Walker thing. PJ Walker brought cheese, so
Maybe it's just Matt Rule was the proprietor.
I think that was the issue. Yeah, I think that was the issue.
I'm also going to take Carolina. We like that defense. You pay close attention to defenses. We like that Carolina defense. I know we also said that about Atlanta. Atlanta went to Cincinnati, got flossed, right? That was not great. That can certainly happen here. But to me, the thing Carolina can do great is bring pressure. They didn't trade Brian Burns. Like, they bring great pressure. Guess what Cincinnati can't handle? We just saw it on national TV. I don't mean to wishy-wash, but I just can't, if you told me it was 4, I would have been tempted to say Bengals.
Right. It's too big for me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just 7.5 is too much. So we're in alignment on at least one pick. The Dolphins, they have to go to Chicago, I believe. And they are giving 5 points as a, get this, road favorite.
I mean, we know what Nick Chubb was doing in Denver, which is not much, I guess.
Bradley Chubb.
Bradley Chubb. Nick Chubb's doing a lot in Denver.
Oh my God! In his week off, he actually has a Swiss chalet. It is beautiful.
He did
it was
one of those...
decorated by that famous designer.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, I've been there, obviously, because I'm in the Nick Chubb business. And I got to tell you, let me take you room by room through the chalet. Well, I'm being told we don't have time for that. All right, next time I will. Okay, Bradley Chubb, go ahead.
Timothy Chalet. I'm gonna have to go ahead and give the points here, because I just think Miami is really good. And I know this whole rejuvenated Fields thing is happening, and I actually agree with it, to a degree. But it's not going to work this week. Not against this team. They blitz their face off. Maybe that changes with Chubb. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think this is the matchup for Chicago to keep this going.
I pinged this line at 5. I don't have a pick for you. 2 games this week where I don't have a pick, because thank God, because the line felt very sharp to me.
It does.
So I am staying away. The Seahawks, having beaten the Cardinals pretty convincingly, 19-9 just a few weeks ago. They go to Arizona, and they are 2-point underdogs. The Cardinals are the favorite.
So this is some sort of desperation line. It seems like for Arizona, like a save your season line.
It also could be a DeAndre Hopkins line, because he wasn't in that game, right?
Yes, yeah. And I was going to tweet about this, but I feel like Cliff Kingsbury changed shirts mid-game last week, but somebody told me he added a shirt. He didn't take a shirt. He just had a different shirt on at one point. And I was like, is he changing stuff up? It's still not working. He still looked good. He looked good.
His thing is layers. It's all about layers.
That's what it is. Yeah. I feel like he's the guy who plays the guitar on the steps in the frat movie, the old frat movie. I've ruined it.
Animal House?
Animal House, yeah. He's that guy. He's the guy who people break Cliff's guitar.
Got it.
Yeah, he sings
nothing like a 50-year-old reference for the kids.
I mean, that's part of my job, and I'm going to go ahead and take the points with Seattle. I just think they're the better team.
I am also on Seattle. I actually thought this would be like a pick'em line. I think Hopkins is obviously worth something.
Right.
It's hard for me to say that he would have been a 10-point difference in that game in Seattle. This feels a lot like that Tennessee-Indianapolis game where they played so close to one another, where you just go, wait, you're doing what with the line? Didn't I just see that team beat that other team? The Tennessee game was easier because they were at home, but I too am on Seattle. The Rams Buccaneers. Well, I remember a time where this was a really great matchup. Oh wait, I'm being told it was 7 months ago or something. Probably not 7 months ago, but within a calendar year, the NFC divisional round classic in a playoff fill of classics. We remember Brady being down big and then coming back in Tampa and tying the score, and it looks like it's going overtime, and then Cooper Kupp goes bananas. Will Cooper Kupp be Cooper Kupp in this game? It's a great question. Right. He's about the only thing that works for the Rams offense. This is once again in Tampa, and Tampa's favored by 2.5.
I feel like the Rams make up a new practice squad running back every week just to mess with us. They're just like
a Madden Builder player.
Yeah, it's just like Ronnie Rivers. It's like, is that a real name, Ronald Rivers? It is. It's not your local poker pro. I am gonna give the points here. I just think Matt Stafford's not good. I I don't watch like every game twice or like that, but I went back and watched the Bucs game. Like Tom's still making some pretty awesome throws.
Sure.
Like, and I know that's not what we're talking about, but I'm just saying, like,
No.
there's still something here. It's the defense that's the issue right now with Tampa. Both of these teams are teams that like seemingly needed to make a trade, but really they just need like a long weekend in Maine or something. So I'm going to give the points just because I feel like Matt Stafford has worse HGH. So
Maine is so far. Even when obviously I'm in LA right now, but Maine is, even when you're in Massachusetts, you go, Maine? Come on, man, that's far. I mean, the fun parts of Maine, like the close parts of Maine are like, that's fun. That's just like New
the
Hampshire.
Bar Harbor, like the good stuff.
It's so far to go. Yeah, just like, oh, cool, let's get in the car for 6
hours
north and still not be in Canada. I set this as a pick, so I guess I was always just going to take the underdog.
Sure.
I wouldn't want to play this game particularly. What I'll say about Brady is, yes, does he have good throws on the tape? Absolutely. But he's doing the 2019 Patriots thing.
Okay.
I think I said it on the show last week. Like he's doing I'm frustrated with everything, and there are times where I'm just gonna, in a fit of pique, throw the ball into the ground. There are people who are like telling me on Twitter, like, his arm is shot. Don't you see it? I'm like, no, because like you said, plenty of throws where you're like, holy moly, that's a laser. I know the one you're talking about. It's the Chris Godwin over the middle.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy. It was a crazy throw. And if his arm was gone, he wouldn't be able to make that throw. But he is getting so much pressure in his face with the interior of that offensive line, and the Rams can still do that. That's my only justification. I don't particularly want to play that game. Sunday night, the Titans, who have a pretty good record in general against the Chiefs, although they've done it when they had A.J. Brown. That's the big difference in the team, I think, and the defense is a little bit worse. They go to Kansas City, and they are getting 12.5 points.
I mean, it's not lost on me that A.J. Brown has one more yard than all of the Titans receivers combined.
Is that true, or just a typical Philly misinformation?
That's true. It's like 689 to 688 or something. It's something amazing.
Wow. I now have to apologize to the entire city of Philadelphia.
I mean, we accept apologies. We do.
Okay,
we're gracious people. I'm going to take the points here. I was been giving all these points. It's time for me to accept some as a gift. I'm going with Tennessee. I know there's a lot of paths to like just this being ridiculous and styles make fights. I'm assuming this bakes in like the Malik Willis possibilities of him, but even if it's Tannehill. Yeah, I think it's Tannehill.
I bet it doesn't.
It'd be bigger.
It's probably Tannehill.
Yeah.
It's a great point that as of our recording this, we just don't know. I would absolutely not be taking the points here if I knew it was Malik Willis. Right. They threw 10 times in a game where they probably could have stood to throw more. Like I think they would get run over if it's Willis. But if it's Tannehill and he's somewhat functional, I'm doing this as a
Tannehill bet. So
yeah, I'm taking Tennessee. I think the line goes to like 16 if it's Willis.
Right.
You're right. There's a lot of ways that you can say, okay, obviously the Chiefs can just score 5 touchdowns and it's just over. Mm-hmm. Tennessee just don't they want to always play a close game?
Their style,
don't they manage everything to play?
It's a styles make fights kind of game, and they don't have a lot of styles, but their one style is suffocating. So,
sure, they have to do to the Chiefs what the Packers did to the Bills, keep it for 40 minutes, right? And in the Packers case, it still didn't work. They still weren't really ever close, but that's how you keep the game reasonable. Right. You just limit the number of possessions and you keep using Derrick Henry, and the Chiefs are going to know that and load it up. And every so often you do play action. Like we've seen this movie. I've seen the Titans, beat the Chiefs before. So I'm going to go Titans if it's Tannehill. And then Monday night, the Ravens, so easy to figure out every week, so consistent, always do the same thing. They go to New Orleans. They go to New Orleans. They do now have Roquan Smith, and they do now have the other one. And they are they only got Roquan Smith, right? No, I was thinking of the Eagles. Yeah. Roquan Smith is worth obviously 5 points because the Ravens are 2.5 point favorites on the road against the Saints.
Clearly, I mean, if I took a snapshot of the Baltimore Ravens, I'd be like, you guys need a linebacker,
Well, I mean, they really kind of did, honestly. Do you think this is a total digression here? But I've said this on the podcast, never asked you. Announcers love Patrick Queen. I think he's not that good.
He's not good at all.
Yeah.
Not good at all. He like PFF gets a lot of flack, but I still value their like just like stats, like missed tackles and
Yeah.
he's whiffing all the time.
Yeah.
He can't square guys up. There's a reason. If he was so good, they wouldn't be trading a day 1 pick or a day 2 pick for this guy.
Yeah.
I am still going to give the points though, just because I think the fast track works really well in New Orleans. Works well for this Ravens team. It sounds good in a bad accent. Yeah, the fast track.
East trick.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it sounds like something you pay for at Disney. But I'm giving the points. I just think it is like the ground game. I think it all works. And Andy Dalton. I mean, just this works well.
Sure, if you ignore last week,
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you I feel great about taking another road favorite
Mhm.
against the Saints after what I just did with the Raiders.
Sure.
You got it right last week. However, I also am going to take the Ravens and lay the 2.5. I feel okay about that one. I probably would play that one with my own cash if I could use DraftKings here in the States. I can't. I'm in California. Now we get to the best bets, and like I said, we've done a little better with the best bets. We're over 500 at least. What is your best bet of the week?
I think it's Miami Dolphins. I believe this line would have been like 7, if not for, or 7.5, if not for like this last little mini run by Fields, like this like surge to competence. I'm not sure that really aligns that much with outcomes. I just think it feels better in Chicago. And like trading for Chase Claypool, it's like some kind of mist of competence, which is fake. And I'm gonna go with Miami.
I don't think this line moved because of Chase Claypool, but that's
No. I just mean like you're right. That's ridiculous.
neither here nor there. I got to tell you, I'm picking one here on the fly because I don't have one this week that I'm like, this is a bad line. So on the fly, looking it up and down, Ryan Tannehill plays, and it's Tennessee.
Wow. Yeah.
It's Tennessee. I think that line should be like 8, at 9, something like that. 12.5 is too much. So
like
there's a way for Tennessee
to
to
do this in like a Dorchester accent.
I can sometimes do a masshole accent. Let me see if I can muster it. Hold on, let me get into character. I got to rip my shirt now. We'll save that for now.
Yeah.
When I wear the
no more.
no ma.
Lawyer Malloy.
We're gonna do that when I wear the footy pajamas. I'll work on my Boston accent. So please tell us your best bet down in the comments. I know Dave Pyper posts his picks as well as ours down in the comments as well, and we would love to hear it. We'll shout out somebody who gets a week 9 pick correct in the show next week, and maybe next week I'll be wearing very heavy pajamas and sweating like a loon on this show. That would be lovely for everybody.
Goals.
We would love it if you support the sponsor, DraftKings. Great sponsor. Play at DraftKings if you are able. Use our code HarrisTube when you sign up. That gives us a little bit of credit. That shows them that sponsoring the show all year is worth the money. So really, if you use HarrisTube, you're doing this show a solid. You're doing us a favor. And give Jim some hell on Twitter at _Jimmy McCormick, where he is doing nothing but brag about his picks, obviously, all week. He's been killing us. For Dave producing, for Jim being good at picks, for me being not so good at picks, I'm Chris. Thank you very, very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button, write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.